Anyway,
leave me in the woods.
Yeah, leave you in the woods. Anyway, we'll be back in 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. I'm Gary Anderson, and the other guy on the other mic is James Christibaum. No, Chrisbaum. Okay. Anyway, I'm just having fun tonight.
Maggot was a biker and drove his motorcycle very fast. Drove a big chop Pilot with a gang color jacket and ran down citizens for laughs. He had an old lady named Petula who packed an automatic 45 gun. They had just come up from California where they'd shot 6 cops for fun. Jake, he thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all called 104. It was late on a Thursday evening, and Jake, he was feeling kind of mean, cause he'd just run out of his favorite drug, you know, the one called amphetamine. So we sauntered up to Petula, and he said, say, baby, let's split. There's a little gas station on down the road that might be fun to hit. So they drove up to the station, and they both jumped off of Jake's ride. They were up to derision at Jake's decision as they both sauntered to the inside. The attendant, he was an old man, and you know he didn't think it very funny. When Petula pulled out that great big gun, said, honey, give me all your money. Well, the old man opened up the cash drawer, and Jake grabbed the money and ran. With Petula out the door to the big chop Pilot that was parked on the center kickstand. Then they headed out for the 4-lane, and they thought it was lots of fun. With Jake on his hog, with Petula the dog, with the automatic 45 gun. He thought it was the best there was, as down the interstate he saw, till the day he tangled with the county sheriff who they all called 104. Didn't think it very humorous, and you know he didn't like to get sassed, cause just that morning he had a cup of coffee with a cop named Pendergrast. But the old man had a lot of sense, and he knew just exactly what to do. He dropped a dime in the phone till he got the dial tone, and he talked to operator 42. Operator 42, she was the best, and she gave out the description of Jake the maggot with the gang colors jacket and Petula with the 45 gun.
If you would like to hear Night Dreams Talk Radio on your local radio station, let them know. Tell them to check out www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, and thank you.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Boy, I need to get a new cell phone. My battery is bad, but the phone has been dropped so many times. I tell you what. You guys are just blowing up my phone here tonight. I got, page after page of people messaging me on Instant Messenger about, the gas station in Las Vegas. And now I got people who've been asking me if I would go and, what was the name of that restaurant? And if I would actually go down and read a magazine on one of their toilets. No, I would not sit there and read a magazine, regardless if it's, big uns or not. But anyway, you're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Our guest later tonight is Kelly Eyer. We're going to be talking cryptids like Black Eyed Children. Are they real? Or are they from Satan? Are they demons? Or are they offsprings from your ex-wife? I'm not really sure, but we'll find all that out here shortly. Hey, James, are you still with us?
I am still here. I'm having some flashbacks from some wacky news. But the thing is, if you was in there, you wouldn't be reading no magazine. You'd be reading some wacky news about a drunken donkey or somebody with some gherkins in a pickle jar or another snake biting somebody while you're sitting there.
I don't know. I'd be reading Biggins. That, Al Bundy always used to talk about. I'd be sitting there and read that. But, in Kentucky, one of the freeway signs was hacked. And what it said is, send nudes.
Oh, my goodness. That reminds me, there was another one similar to that. Somebody hacked it, and they showed a little porn. And it was causing some, a lot of distractions on the highway.
Oh, yeah. And, I like the one is that we're at war. Find a shelter right away. That was like about a year and a half ago. And that freaked a lot of people out.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of like a modern version of War of the Worlds.
Well, you know what I did? It was a big fad about 2 years ago. And I actually still have the clip. And what you do, it's a DVD. And what you do is you plug it in on your DVD player. You don't tell your wife or your husband, depending who's listening. And what it is, it starts out with emergency forecast. Like we're going to be, and it goes on to that. Then it says they interrupted all public broadcasting. The president will be talking in the next few minutes. Then it starts saying you need to find shelter, that there's oncoming missiles coming, blankety blank. And I ran that. And I'll tell you what, my wife was freaking out. She was saying to me, run to the kitchen, go get the food, put it in bags, go do this, go do that. And she's screaming, hysterical. And she goes, why aren't you doing it? We're going to be blown up because we're close to Bangor. There's oncoming missiles. They expect in about 20 minutes they'll hit. And then I finally told her, hey, it was just a bad prank. She didn't talk to me for almost as bad as a mannequin I put next to her, but she didn't talk to me for like a couple days.
The Skeletor with the sword, that poor lady's been through it with you, with these pranks, I'll tell you. Wow.
Well, another horse had to be rescued. This time, it wasn't in a river. It wasn't through an ice field. It was rescued from an old water well in Oklahoma.
Oh, my goodness. That'd be awful. Get down with that. Boy, it's one of that horse still alive, didn't break a leg. Jeez. That's wow.
Well, I'm just reading what little wacky news there is. Guess what? In Florida, they caught a fish that was believed to be at least 50 years old. It's a groper. And it weighed in at 350 pounds.
Yeah, that's some giant grouper. They like to hang out down there, and especially in the Gulf around the oil derricks out in the ocean there. But them things get even bigger than that, Gary. And I've seen videos where people catching other fish, and they're just about to reel it in. They just come up and open their mouth and just suck them right in, man. They're huge. Some of them get 500, 600, 700 pounds. They're giant.
It must be because the guy has it hanging up. He's standing next to it. He's about 6 foot tall. And the thing is at least another 2 feet taller than him.
Oh, yeah, those things get huge. They look like giant largemouth bass, but they're giant. They'll eat anything. I forget. I think they found all kind of crazy stuff in that they eat, but yeah, they're big and they can get vicious. I mean, they're not like to attack you, but if you're small enough and they're big enough, I could see them trying to eat you.
Well, the way this one looks like it could actually swallow you. Well, again, another skunk was rescued, this time in California. What is it with skunks having to be rescued? A skunk was rescued from an old dryer vent in California. It took animal rescuers and the fire department and the highway patrol hours to take the trapped skunk out of the dryer vent.
Holy cow. Can you imagine justifying all that paperwork and manpower for a skunk? Oh, boy. I could just see that meeting at the council meeting. But, yeah, that's something. The one you had the other night was drinking beer and got stuck in the beer can or something.
Yeah, he got part of his head stuck in a beer can.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, between these skunks and the raccoons and the bears are notorious beer drinkers out there. I don't know what's gotten into them. Maybe they're running out of forestation, or they've just developed a taste for a little bit of the beer.
Well, Ham's Beer, years and years ago, mountains of time back, had commercials, and what it was, when they had alcohol commercials, the beer would be the beer, and here would be the bear walking with a 6-pack of beer, Ham's beer. And that's, you remember that at all?
Yeah, I was a little kid. I remember seeing those logos. Now that you mention it, and that was like their mascot or something. It was, I remember that.
Yeah, Ham's beer. Now I'm thirsty for a beer. Darn it, and all I got is tea here. Well, here you are in Texas, and you're in a restaurant. Just having a nice meal, and a huge tire crashes through the window and narrowly misses, one of the employees working inside and smashes against the wall. They were lucky.
Yeah, they were lucky. I'll tell you what, lucky they didn't take their head off. I've seen what tires can do that come off things or just fall off trucks or whatever it is, and they're like a speeding bomb. I mean, lack of a better word, they can cause some destruction. I was going down the highway one time with a friend of mine, and matter of fact, he was ahead of me, and his spare tire come off of the back of the van, and boy, when it hit the highway going 70 mile an hour, oh, Gary, there was cars going all over the place trying to dodge that thing. It was like a launched missile.
Well, this is actually a true little tale I'm going to tell you. When me and my wife first got married, we at that point had 2 kids at that point, and we had an old station wagon, a Buick station wagon, and we were going into Seattle, and we're going to a place, it was near Lake Union, and we had to get off the interstate freeway, I-5. And then we had to take this ramp that went through a little tunnel, and then it, kind of curved, and then, it came up to a stoplight. And we were doing 55 when we came through the tunnel, and I started slowing down, and I told my wife, I said, hey, some dumb blankety-blank just lost his front wheel. My car handled perfectly for about another minute. But when I slowed down, the car was no longer, like level in the front. It went doop on the driver's side. Well, it was my front wheel. The whole wheel assembly broke off and decided to take off.
Yeah, when those happen, that and ball joints, look out. And boy, I'll tell you what, I don't know what it is about them wheels, but boy, when they go, they are seriously, they're dangerous.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are dangerous.
I seen a video on YouTube where a big truck tire went flying, and it hit a guy and his wife were walking, or his girlfriend, and the tire took the guy out. I mean, it was a big truck tire. The truck was probably doing 40, 50 miles an hour. That wheel came off and hit him doing probably 40, 50 miles an hour. So that's like instant death.
Oh, yeah. Listen, there's been people, matter of fact, my ex-brother-in-law, his brother, he's a truck driver, and he was changing a tire, and something gave out that they're liable for and broke, and the tire blew up, and man, he was in the hospital almost 3 months. No joke.
Oh, yeah. Hey, a big shout out to Dreamland tonight and Todd out there, too. And again, firefighters, well, guess what? One of our favorite subjects. Could you imagine you get in your car and you realize you're not alone? You put your keys in the car to take off, and what goes up the dashboard that you see part of it going up is a tail. Well, firefighters had to coax a snake out of a dashboard.
Oh my, not another snake.
Oh, yeah. A 3-foot snake that, concealed itself inside the dashboard of the car with its tail hanging out.
Yeah, there are so many hiding places in cars under the dash and seats. I'll tell you, that's another thing. And usually the snakes that's going to be in the car, they're usually going to be poisonous. I mean, a good chance of it. So you're reaching under your seat, just the seat, or reaching around, you're liable to get bit. But the anxiety of knowing you've seen that snake and now he's just laying in wait hiding, what do? You need to get out right away.
Yeah. How can some people win lotteries like once, then twice, and 3 times in a row, off of scratch tickets? Here's a guy in Maryland. Okay. 3 weeks in a row. Now, on his last win, he wins $100,000. The time before it was $266,000, and the time before that was $70,000.
Holy
Three-
cow! He must have sat on a horseshoe.
I don't know what he sat on, but I want to